Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to be together with all of you today with Naama. I'm going to talk fast because we all want Naama, not me, but I just want to quickly remind all of us how we gather. Please take a minute to make yourself comfortable, grab a warm drink, something to write with and write on. If this is your first time here, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you found your way here. My name is Eliza Sperling. I am the education director at SVIVAH. I'm so happy to see you. I haven't seen some of you in a while. And I'm just happy to be here with you. These next 30 minutes are going to be an opportunity just to press pause in our day and our week in the way the world is running faster than we are, a chance to plant our feet a little more firmly, gain a little steadiness to take into this week. Ogen in Hebrew means anchor, and Naama, thank you for helping us find an anchor that we can remember to grab onto this week whenever we feel like we are unmoored to give us something to help us steady our hearts. If you don't know Naama, if this is your first time here, first of all, welcome. We're so happy that you're here. Naama is a wonderful educator and scholar who teaches many beautiful things and focuses on the teachings of Yemima Avital, a teaching style that interweaves the psychological with the spiritual with the feminine and is totally unlike anything I've ever heard before. If you're new to Nama's teaching, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Please don't be worried if you hear Hebrew mentioned. Everything will come into translation. But the beauty of the Hebrew is a piece of what elevates the learning. So I know many of us are not Hebrew speakers. Have no fear, we'll be okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And thank you, Nama, for the gift of this beautiful space together. Oh, and happy early birthday, Nama.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita. And good to see everyone. Um, okay, so we're here on our third session together. And it's Monday morning for me. It's 9 a.m., probably a little later in the day for some of the people. For some of us, a lot already happened in the morning. For us, some of us were just kind of like pulling ourselves together at this point. Um, So wherever you are, welcome. I'm also welcoming myself from a very full morning, um, which is not my usual Monday morning. But um, Aliza mentioned that I do love and teach a lot of uh, Yemima's teachings, and we will do some more here soon. But in the last 3 weeks, we are actually focusing on another book that I think we mentioned here a lot already, the Book of Creation, Sefer Yetzirah. And I think one of my attractions to the Book of Creation and also to Yemima's writing is, sometimes there's something about poetry. Poetry is very cryptic. There's something about poetry that, like, it's more than the words, right? It's not prose. You're not getting the full story. It's not scientific writing. You're not getting a full explanation. Poetry um, is something different, right? It speaks to a different part of us. And there's something about reading poetry that kind of moves you to a different mind space, at least for me. And there's something about poetry that, because it's cryptic and not fully understood, that it does maybe that kind of like thing. And when you read Yemima, her words are cryptic. And when you read the Book of Creation, the words are cryptic. And I found myself yesterday reading a little bit of Psalms. And you know what? I used to read a lot of Psalms. I don't do that so much anymore. But as Elisa mentioned, it is my Hebrew birthday was on Shabbat, and my um, non-Hebrew birthday is going to be tomorrow. And there's a custom on your birthday to read the chapter of Psalms that starts your next year. So I'm turning 41. So this year I'm going to read the Psalms of 42, Psalms 42. So I read it yesterday. I just want to read it to you just because it's so beautiful. And I kind of feel like poetry is I'll share screens so the people have also the English text. But this is just Safaria. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's a long psalm, but just listen to this. How beautiful. One second. Um, like I'm gonna read from verse 2. כי אייל תהרוג על אפיקי מים, כנפשי תערוג אליך אלוהים. צמאה נפשי לאלוהים, לאל חי. מתי אבוא ואראה פני אלוהים? Like a hind crying for water, my soul cries for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, the living God. Oh, when will I come to appear before God? הייתה לי דמעתי לחם יומם ולילה באמור אליי כל היום איה אלוהיך. My tears have been my food day and night. I'm ever taunted with, where is your God? And on. Beautiful, beautiful psukim. But I just want to read one more. Oh, I also love this one. תהום אל תהום קורא, לכל צינוריך, כל משבריך וגליך עליי עברו, where deep calls to deep. In the roar of your cataracts, all your breakers and billows have swept over me. יומם יצווה אדוני חסדו, ובלילה שירו עמי תפילה לאל חיי. By day may God devote faithful care, so that at night a song may be with me, a prayer to the God of my life. And I would say to the God, le'el chayai, to the divine that enlivens me. So I'm just reading these because I feel the power of words is so strong, and the power between words, the image that it gives us. So in my other part of my work, I'm thinking these days about like all kinds of processes where like, in our brain, when we see someone fall, right away we can understand it. It's very direct. But if we see someone sitting in a coffee shop, and then we find out that that person is sitting there writing, journaling because they lost their spouse of 50 years, we can also feel sorrow. But it's a very different way of understanding sorrow, right? The first one, if I see someone fall on the street, I get right away the direct thing. The second one, I have to have a lot of meaning systems to understand why someone sitting at a table writing in a journal can be sad. So why am I saying all these things? Just because also when reading, I think poetry, it kind of like brings back to us, it trains our meaning systems. What is deep calling to deep? It's so not direct. I mean, I don't see in front of me right now the roaring ocean. I'm just feeling what is deep calling to deep, and what does it feel for me to have deep calling to deep. And I think this is why poetry and the writings of Yemima and the book of creation, they're just like so nourishing because they're allowing us to tap into that meaning system that is not direct and that allows us to really understand deeply ourselves and the world. So that's just my rambling this morning as a way of transitioning into this space, and let's just do what we always do. So let's take our um, pen and paper or whatever you write with and just check in with ourselves. What's happening for us this morning? What's going on? What's moving in me? We're going to take a minute and I'm going to call us back. But just like, where are you with your deep to deep, with the song in the night of the divine within? And I think for me, just like reading this psalm kind of like pushes uh, pushes a cue into my system to remember my yearning for God, which I call the divine energy of life. The yearning to feel the energy that enlivens us, the yearning to feel that we are here in a body and we're here also in a journey of a soul. And to feel that, we don't always feel that. Sometimes we're really in the direct stuff of our life. But like, I think when we're getting these reminders, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I miss God. Not meaning I miss, I don't know, high holidays davening, but I miss the feeling of godliness, of connectedness, of feeling that I'm part of like something bigger, that my life is going in a specific journey in this big creation. So anyhow, if you feel any kind of these yearnings and that kind of like brought it back for you, then good. I sometimes forget about it. So it was really nice to get a reminder. But okay, now really, just like what's moving in me? What's going on for me? And I'm gonna be quiet. I'll call us back in a minute. A few more seconds. I would love to just hear a word from each one of you in the chat. If you wanted to share with us what's moving for you today, really, no, it could be a poetry, just a word. It can be cryptic. You don't need to feel stressed to write a lot. Perfect. Thank you so much. Resonate, hope, Bezat Hashem, hold, care, resilience. Oh, thank you. Connection, souls. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. So we're really looking for anchors here and for um and Ogen. I actually feel already anchored, so that's it. Let's close the class. Just good to speak to other people about poetry, you know? It's like about words and to feel it. I think like we feel it in our heart. And thank you so much, Aliza and Sviva, for like just allowing us to have a half hour like this. Because sometimes poetry is very short. I think maybe that's why we have short poetry pieces, right? Poems. You can read it fast and can already turn your energy, and then you can go on to your day. Um, so the building blocks, right, of poetry, the building blocks of language, the building blocks of our relationships to each other, and the building blocks that the Book of Creation tells us the world is built from are letters. And the Book of Creation tells us there are 32 paths of energy through which the divine nourishes the world all the time. And these are the 10 sfirot and the 22 letters of the alphabet. And it also tells us that of these letters, each one has its own story, character, and life. And there are three letters who are the mothers. And from these mothers came the fathers, and from these fathers came everything. Which is like, right, it's an interesting thing. And you would think, what will be the mothers? Like, what are the most important letters? You would think maybe Yud, right? Like important word letters or hey. So the Book of Creation tells us no, there are three mothers, and the three mothers from within everything came are Aleph, Mem, Shin. Aleph, Mem, and Shin. And what we did in our attempts to find resilience in the last 2 weeks, where we started with the first two letters, Shin, if you remember, was the first one that we spoke about, Shin. And I'm reminding you that Shin is open to the only in the top, right? So all the energy comes from the top, and Shin is connected to the head, and Shin is connected to heat and warmth and summer. And Shin is about like the aspirations and everything that we are dreaming of and wanting, and activity and heat and power and movement. And then we spoke about last week about the letter Mem. And so one way to anchor and one way to find resilience is to always go back to to the sky, right? Always let our head lift us, let our vision take us, remind ourselves with some facts that we can do it and to make a plan. And this is shin. It's like a shh, the blood gushing. It's like, right? Last week we spoke about another way of finding another thing to hold to, and that's mem, right? So the letter mem, you can see the only opening for mem is from the bottom, right? So it's coming from the bottom. Mem is connected to the stomach, is connected to cold, to water. Mem is our ability to pay attention to the ground of our life, what's happening now, to be tied to it. Sometimes, despite our best wishes, it's this thing that really kind of like grounds us. It's our ability to decide to accept where we are right now and to do one more step. This is mem. This is the mem, right? And we said shh and try to just feel it in the body. So we have shh pulling us up and pulling us down. And today we're just going to speak about this last letter, Aleph. And you can see that Aleph has openings from both top and bottom, right? Energy can come in from both top and bottom. And Aleph is connected to the power of wind. Let me read it to you actually. And I have the text here. שלוש אמות, א', מ', ש', ראש, בטן וגבייה. ראש נברא מאש, בטן ממים, וגבייה מרוח מכריע בינתיים. המליך א' ברוח, וקשר לו כתר, וצרפן זה בזה, וצר מהן אוויר בעולם, ורוויה בשנה, גבייה בנפש זכר ונקבה. I'm going to do my best to translate this. Aleph tells us the book of creation is the place of balance. This is the wind. You know, wind is basically a movement of air from a place with high pressure to a place of low pressure, geographically speaking, climatically speaking, right? Wind is a balancing power. Wind is a movement from a place of heat, where we find the air is, right? מתפשט, forget the word, expands, right? To a place of cold, right? To a place of contraction. So heat just, the wind just moves things. The wind is the movement of the air from place to place. And the wind, as we spoke about fire and water, can be an element that is like life-giving, that gives us energy, that gives us refreshment, that gives us the changes that we need. And it can be a destroying, destructive, frightening thing, right? If it comes in the form of storms. So what is Aleph and how does Aleph help us close the circle of resilience that we're talking about when we speak about the three-letter mothers? I think sometimes the hardest thing to do is to hold attention and to move between the different poles of attention. So sometimes when we are looking for a way to kind of like ground ourselves, we're going to the shin, we're going to our aspirations, we're going to like the vision, we're going to everything that we imagine. And we forget the ground. We forget our reality, or we are rejecting our reality, or we're trying to kind of like forget about our reality. Sometimes we're grounding ourselves by just like being in our reality, just being in the mem, just being in the life, just taking care of what needs to be taken care of, just attending to it, just looking into my creative feeling right now. And we are unable to see the sheen, the big picture, the aspirations. We say that's not available, that's not possible for us, that's too much, that's far away from us, we don't have fire in us. What Aleph does, is Aleph is what sometimes I call the creative tension. So Aleph is my ability to say, wow, it feels really tense at the moment. And that's not a problem. That's a feature. That's a feature of me feeling pulled between totally acknowledging and understanding my reality and also having an aspiration and a plan and an idea and a vision and being okay holding the kind of like breeze in between these places and managing for myself what can I actually take without letting go of these two poles so that the wind doesn't become a storm. I don't want to let go of the pole. So I'll make it a little more um, real. I mean, let's say I feel specifically in my body, maybe I feel very weak today, but I also have like a big aspiration to go hiking today, right? So one way is to say, I'm going hiking. It doesn't matter how I feel. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna make it happen. Gonna use the blood of the gush of the blood. Sometimes it works, but I might exhaust myself. Another way is to say, "Ah, I don't feel so well. I better not get out of the house. I need to just rest. I can't do the hike today. My body is just like not allowing it." No. Both things are important and both things are grounding, right? Both things are helping us kind of like find what's right for us, sometimes by imagining, sometimes by paying attention to what's happening. Aleph is that nudgy point that tells us look at the complicated full reality. Aleph is that thing that says it's not about just having your imagination about what you can do, and it's also not about just abiding to what's happening. Aleph is our ability to take a moment, a breath, a wind, and say, can I do a small hike? Can I plan for the hike for tomorrow? Can I do something with just one friend and not with the whole group that I need to organize? Can I do even start with a walk around my house? Aleph is the wind that allows us to keep moving between these things. Aleph is the kind of like complex picture, is the ability to move energy from one side to the other. That's the wind, right? And the book of creation, the Sefer Yetzirah says, Zegviyah. Aleph is our whole body. Aleph is wind. Aleph is the balancing of the seasons. Aleph is not a specific place. It's just like the ability to move between places. If you will, it's not the black letters of the Torah, it's the white pergament on which the letters are written, but it gives the structure, it gives the meaning, it allows things to be organized in a way that makes sense to us. And I think we need to move a lot in life, and sometimes we don't want to because it's so hard to move. It's so hard to move. Aleph is hard, and Aleph is also called Alufo Shel Olam. Aleph, right? Sometimes we see it added in some places in the Torah, and the commentators tell us "Ze Alufo Shel Olam," it's God intervening here. It happens in the book of Esther a few times. Suddenly you see this big Aleph, and they're like Alufo Shel Olam. It's like it's God coming in here. Aleph, I think, is the divine spirit. This Aleph is the beginning of everything. The beginning of everything is not something that could be specifically defined like Shin or Mem. It's our ability of movement, tnu'ah, tnu'ah. So hard to move a lot of the time. For some people, it's easier than others, actually. But for some of us, it's really hard to move and to do the moving balance. And Aleph is our call to do that. So for this week, I'm just thinking that we are going to pay attention to our breath, breathing in, breathing out, and kind of like allowing yourself to yell when we need. You can do it in a closed room, you can do it without making a lot of sound, but like just the ah, it's very different than shh and mm. They can't go so loud. Ah can go really loud and can go really kind of like mellow. But ah is like sometimes it's like aha, sometimes it's like ah, right? Like ah is a place of a lot of sound. a lot of our sounds are coming through the ah. And so, yeah, just really my invitation for us for this week is to pay attention to that whole picture. The aleph, to hold the mem, to hold the shin, and to hold the aleph. To hold the aleph that helps us move in between mem and shin. And if we're like not sure what to do, just to say ah, 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 ah. It's a little weird, but sometimes it works. You know, that's my Victoria Khana learning experience. I hope everybody watched that amazing video. If not, we can send it again. This woman who's doing the Aleph bit. Um, but really, to allow things to move, sometimes we do need to yell a little bit. And that's an important part in our life too. And, you know, even Bnei Israel got out of Egypt only after they sighed. And Rabbi Nachman of Breslov says, redemption depends on sighing. This is a very Jewish thing to say, right? It's like when you're doing, ah, that's the beginning of redemption. He says, Vayanchu bnei Israel. So, um, yeah, to allow ourselves to sign, to yell, to just feel what it feels like to be in the ah, that kind of like goes in vibration all over the body, not just in the stomach, not just in the head, all over the body and moves things from place to place. And try to sense, where do I need energy to move to? Where do I have energy stored to move from? And to do the Aleph work um, in that way. It might sound very weird to some people, maybe to all of us. Anyhow, I hope you can flow with that. Thank you for allowing me to say these weird things, but I kind of feel like for me they work. The book of creation is so nourishing. I really love the work with the letters so much. And I give it to you as a gift that I liked getting. So you should have a wonderful week, Bezrat Hashem, with a lot of aha, 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 ah. And and we'll chat in the WhatsApp group. Um, okay, Aliza, I think that's where we're closing.
Thank you so much, Nama. Ogen will meet again every Monday for 30 minutes, 12 o'clock to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 to 9:30 p.m. AM, sorry, Pacific time. And if you're me, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Israel time. So happy to be here with all of you. I'm going to try to put all of the links in the chat. Please commit to inviting one friend to join us next week. You can invite them with this link. Join the Ogen WhatsApp group, which I'm about to put in the chat.